Okay, we'll move on to our last franchise right now, and um, they're probably the last franchise in terms of talent. Also, RCB. Um, the the bunch of losers. Um, but today we're going to talk about some good things from RCB. Um, Dinesh Karthik, what a player! 68, 66. He has an average of over 200 at a strike rate of also over 200. He's just absolutely insane. Ex KKR lad. I love him. I will never stop loving him. He's possibly my favorite cricketer of all time now, even though he plays for RCB.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dinesh Karthik innings was fantastic. We, in terms of RCB in general, we saw even in the CSK game. They had two games this week, of course. I believe CSK and DC. I don't remember if the one before that falls under this week. But the CSK game, while they did get utterly pummeled. And I'm so disappointed that Om isn't here right now. Man's chilling in Switzerland. While I think that's why he went to Switzerland. He planned it so it's during the RCB CSK match, so he won't have to deal with the consequences of such a terrible team. But either way, despite RCB looking quite bad, and obviously it was really unfortunate that Harshal wasn't able to make it. That would have made it a little bit better. But the one bright spot, if you can say that was their middle order batting, was their middle order Indian
Yeah,
contingent.
Maxwell also very good 50.
Exactly,
And
Max.
actually, speaking about their batting and Maxwell, I have a stat to bring up. RCB batters in overs 1 to 6 in the IPL. So in the power play, Glenn Maxwell 20 balls 40 runs, Virat Kohli 20 balls 24 runs, Anuj Rawat, the guy you love and the guy who I say is awful, 76 balls 73 runs. That's under 100.
Hmm.
Faf du Plessis, who you also love and who I also say has not been doing well, 75 balls, 61 runs. That's at a strike rate of 81.3. Then they have David
Wow.
Willey, who's played 11 balls, 6 runs, and Rutherford with 12 balls, 4 runs. So Maxwell's easily the best in the power play, and he's easily looked the best. And RCB's middle order is hard carrying the top order. So that's Maxwell, DK, and Shabazz Ahmed. Shabazz has surprised me this season. He's been giving really good support to DK throughout the season with his batting. And to be fair, I'm really impressed by him. Obviously, he plays for Bengal, so he's a half KKR lad, and that's probably the reason why he's doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot you brought up there. I will not defend Faf in this case because I believe his role is to be the aggressor. At least after an initial couple of overs, his role is to be an aggressor, and he should know his players. He should know that Anuj Rawat will come in, and he's not someone who can hit from the get go, and he has to take that responsibility on. So his strike rates abysmal. I will, however. Oh, my bad. I will, however, continue to defend Anuj Rawat because Anuj Rawat's role in the RCB opening is to provide stability. Okay, RCB has a bunch of powerhouses. Can't
They have Virat Kohli. Why do you need someone to provide stability?
you
It's an
need
L
you
in a
need
T20 match.
you want Anuj Rawat to come in, hit 65 runs of 45 balls. I know that was his like one innings of grace so far in the tournament. You want him to hit about 65-45 balls. You have Maxwell who comes in and okay, think of this, okay? Think of a Faf who's allowed to run let loose. Okay,
Dude,
followed
you
by
have
Glenn.
three players. You have three players outside the circle. Use this time to get runs, not to like just settle
That's
yourself
what
in.
Faf does, dude. You can make that argument for
You
literally
can't have Faf and Rawat opening and Kohli at three. They all do the exact same thing, and they
Faf.
all are shit against spin.
No,
It's literally the most useless batting order ever. Get Finn Allen in or open with Maxwell. Just put Shahbaz at three. I don't care. Those three cannot be batting in a row.
the point of Faf at two is that we've seen how lethal Faf can be. We saw it in the first match. How he sort of turns on. He was a little bit slow as you mentioned last week. He had a strike rate of below 100. If you have Anuj Rawat playing that stabilizing factor, okay, you have Faf who comes in after the first like 1 or 2 overs, is allowed to go ham. You have Maxwell who doesn't have to. We know the damage that these players can do if they're not worried of who's behind them. Okay, RCB has some fairly decent depth in their batting. For once, they're not reliant on Virat Kohli, completely reliant on Virat Kohli, because Virat hasn't been doing too well. He's been doing decently, but the crux of their batting is more, I would argue, Glenn Maxwell at the moment has a lot of the onus of scoring, and is one of the like two RCB players who was able to sufficiently score last game. Obviously, we have Maxwell, and then we had DK, who we already talked about, and yeah, I think the problem in the opening is mainly with Faf. Is mainly with Faf, as you mentioned, the 81 strike rate. That
Or
is
just
indeed a
get rid
problem.
of Anuj Rawat, play Mahipal Lomro. There are just so many better options. Rawat is not good enough. They don't even need a keeper. Dinesh Karthik, the KK man, is there. He's a fantastic keeper. By the way, about Dinesh Karthik, he has 151 dismissals as a keeper now, which is second in the IPL, only to MS Dhoni, who's at 163, I think. But yeah, Dinesh Karthik's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, I know I said RCB is last in the table of talent, but they've got this new guy, Suyash Prabhudesai, who impressed in his first game with the batting, scoring a quick 30, and his fielding also. His fielding was really solid
Yeah, I
against
mean,
CSK.
yeah, RCB, as I mentioned, RCB is the only silver lining in the RCB game against CSK was the Indian lower middle order, in Prabhu Desai, as you just mentioned, and Shabaz Ahmed, who we talked about, who you mentioned slightly before, and then you obviously have DK, who's the most consistent RCB batsman, one of probably the most consistent batsman in the IPL right now, in terms of the position that he plays, the role that he plays, and yeah, against CSK, it was the only DK's only dismissal in the entire tournament so far, and so yeah, that's the only silver lining that came out of it, and they carried that form into the DC match. As I mentioned, it was, like RCB was in a very dark spot in the DC game, and then the two batsmen who saved it at the end. Even after match seasonings, they were in a pretty bad spot. The two batsmen who saved it at the end were the lower middle order Indian contingent. Man's on mute.
Yeah, just wanted to mention condolences to Harshal Patel's family. He
Yeah,
just
yeah,
lost his sister, and that's why he missed one game for RCB. And we saw in that game how important Harshal Patel is to them, because RCB gave away a lot of runs, and he's been the key for RCB this season. Who would have thought at the start of 2021, when they just transferred him in, that we would have said Harshal Patel is the key to RCB's bowling attack, and he would be leading them. But
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
world we live in now, and he's been doing really well. He's really important to them, and hopefully now when he comes back, he performs solid for them, because I think he's put in enough performances now to show that he's crucial to India's plans in the future in T20 as too. So good luck to him, and hopefully he does well.